Hi Taurus, welcome to your 2026 prediction reading. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker. And I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. However, this is a new type of reading that I am trying and I'm super excited about. We are going to essentially go month by month all through 2026 and get a general energy for what could be happening for you guys month to month this entire year. This is a format that was inspired by another tarot reader. Her name is Baba Jolie. I do want to give credit where credit is due because I did not come up with this format myself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into the reading. Also, keep in mind, Tauruses, this is a general collective reading, so whatever messages come up, come up. Also, please do not try and force a message or reading you see online to fit your specific personal situations. If it's not resonating, it's probably a message for another Taurus out there. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. All right, spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? What messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? All right, we are going to go month by month. I've got 3 different decks here, so I'm going to shuffle and then start pulling cards from the top of each deck for each month. All right, spiritual team, Threads of Fate Oracle, what messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? What messages do you have? Wow, they're jumping. What messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? Okay. And final deck is going to be a tarot deck. Spiritual team, Divine Feminine Tarot, what messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? What messages do you have for the Taurus collective for 2026? Okay, Tauruses, let's start with the month of January. If your first card is Lapis Lazuli, make a decision. The next card you got was Dare to Dream. Okay. And then your tarot card for the month of January is the Page of Pentacles. This feels like new beginnings, new opportunities, potentially in the month of January coming for my Tauruses, which I'm very excited to hear about. Also, Tauruses, I know my life is looking like a hot mess back here. I'm in the process of moving, so I apologize. I'm frankly like, everything is torn up, so I apologize for this mess on the floor. It usually doesn't look like this, I promise. Back to you guys though. January definitely feels like a month of potential, of new opportunities, especially with this Page of Pentacles. It feels like you guys are either making a decision in terms of whether you're going to accept an offer for a new opportunity, if you're going to say yes to an opportunity, or some of you guys could also be making a decision to start a new direction, maybe start a business or pursue something completely new and different. For some of you guys, this is maybe a dream that you've had for a long time and you're finally deciding 2026 is the year, let's go for it. That's kind of the energy I'm getting from this. So this is a very positive, very optimistic month for you guys is what I'm getting from January. So for me, I'm getting a yes, go for it from these cards. Okay, let's move into February and see what comes up for you guys. Okay, all right. First card is Celestite, Soothe Your Soul. All right, and then we have Get Creative. All right. And then your tarot card for the month of February is the Seven of Cups. Oof. So many options, so many roads to go down. What do we choose? That's kind of the energy I'm getting from the Seven of Cups. Yeah, and the Soothe Your Soul, I feel like the Seven of Cups could also bring some anxiety to my Tauruses, especially if this is something new, if you don't know where to start. If you want to try a bunch of different things, but you know you can only really choose one, you may feel a little overwhelmed. Hence why the need to soothe your soul a little bit. Okay, to find your calm, to find your woo-saw, because I feel like February could feel a little overwhelming for you guys. I feel like we also have a Mercury retrograde around this time, maybe in February, maybe in March, I don't remember which. So there could be some confusion in general around this time for you guys, but I feel like ultimately this is an opportunity. This is a month for you guys to get creative, to play around with things, to see basically what sticks to the wall. So I would say in the month of February, don't get so hung up on things being perfect, because I feel like this is like a trial and error month for you. And a month where you kind of get to explore and play around with things. So don't feel like you have to have everything figured out, and don't put that pressure on yourselves in February, if that makes sense. So play around with things, try not to be too hard on yourselves, and yeah, definitely just, yeah, don't be too hard on yourselves is essentially what I'm getting for the month of February. Just kind of, yeah, play around with stuff, all right? Let's see what is happening for the month of March. What do we have going on here? Okay. So first up, you have Chrysoprase, and it says, allow yourself to receive. Okay. Next, you have the Sage. Okay. And then you also got the Death card in reverse for the month of March. So whenever I see the Death card in reverse, it talks to me about resistance. It feels like maybe even a fear of like change, transition, trying something different, letting go of things that we've been doing before up until this point, letting go of old mindsets, old perspectives, things that we maybe are holding on to for dear life because we feel like it's a part of us. And if we let go of that, it's scary, it's new, and we don't know who we are without that security blanket almost. So I feel like March is one of those months where you are going to have an opportunity to kind of break free and level up in a way, but you also have to let go of something that is very near and dear to you. Okay, so whether that is a job, that security, that financial security, it's very scary to let go of that security blanket if you want to start a new business, right? Okay, could also be a relationship, could be a home, could be a city that you live in, could be a friend group, a community, a mentor even. Okay, so I feel like March is presenting you with an opportunity to level up and move on and keep progressing. And there's a hesitation. There's like, I don't know, like, am I ready for this? Is this really what it takes? I don't know if I want to keep going, if this is what it takes kind of a thing, or you're not sure whether you want to take this opportunity. Some of you guys might be taking an opportunity to like move to a new country and study under somebody or work under somebody. Maybe it's like a bit of a risk to just up and move yourself or your family to a completely new place. And you're like, do I really want to do this? Like, is this opportunity I've been waiting for? And I do feel like it is for a lot of you. I feel like this is an opportunity to gain some sort of wisdom with the Sage card. I mean, sage wisdom is such a popular phrase. It's the first thing that comes to mind whenever I see this card is like sage wisdom. Someone that has something to offer you because they've been there, they've done it, they've succeeded, or they at least have some sort of knowledge that they can share with you to get you where you want to go. It's giving Merlin, you know, that's what I think of when I think of a sage, really, like someone who has a lot of time, experience, and wisdom to give and share, and they want to give and share it with you. So be open to receiving it. Be open to receiving this opportunity, even if it's scary, even if it scares you. Okay, if it feels like, I don't know if I can do this kind of a thing, that means you're headed in the right direction, I think. All right, let's move on to April. Excuse me, I need to take a break here and grab some water. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. My throat is so dry. I had a little bit of an allergy attack over the weekend, and I was just sneezing like until my voice was hoarse. So I appreciate you being patient. Month of April, what do we have? Ocean Jasper, schedule yourself in. Okay. We also have Share Wisdom. Okay, I like it. And then the tarot card you got was the Nine of Pentacles. I love this. This feels like someone going to college and they're like really expanding their mind. They're really broadening their horizons. They're really, you know, not even like just learning from the teachers, but they're joining, you know, clubs or groups where they get to share ideas or, you know, collaborate and like work with other like-minded individuals. I mean, this could be a mentorship. This could be college for some of you. This could be an internship, an apprenticeship. It just feels like this is a very exciting time. I'm very excited talking about it. That's the energy I get from this. But I feel like this is like a blossoming moment in a lot of ways for a lot of you as well. The Nine of Pentacles talks to me about like an individual's journey, but I don't get that you are alone because of this Share Wisdom card. I feel like you guys are very much surrounded by like-minded individuals. But I feel like there is also something that you have to offer in the situation. You're not just receiving information. I feel like there's an exchange of knowledge, of experiences, of whatever. And I feel like this is actually a really beautiful month for you guys. It feels balanced. It feels exciting. It feels fulfilling. And I would just say, like, I think it could be very easy to get like wrapped up in the excitement and wanting to socialize and grow and learn and all of that. But definitely make time for yourselves, because I feel like when you make time to spend more time alone, away from other people, you also get the opportunity to experiment still and, you know, put things into practice and try things out. So while you may be doing a lot of group projects or collaborations or what else? Like learning under other people, I think there's something that could be said that is still valuable about going off on your own, studying on your own, researching on your own, or, you know, trying something on your own. So building your own business or building your own content platforms or building your own, I don't know, brand partnerships. Like it could be anything. And again, that's just an example, but I feel like there is maybe research that you guys want to do on something that, you know, maybe you heard from someone else in your group and you're like, well, I want to look into that specific thing a little bit more on my own. Like, I don't necessarily want to just talk about just that with other people right now. So I think there's a lot of balance of like spending time alone, improving yourself, expanding your mind on your own, but also with others. So I think there's a good balance to that, as long as you can manage to keep it balanced in that way. Okay, like it. Very interesting. Let's move on to the month of May. Let's see what May is bringing to the table. Okay. Interesting. So first up, we have Labradorite, See the Magic. Okay. We also have Soul Work. Okay. And then the tarot card of the month is the Five of Wands. Ooh. Yeah, busy little bees is what I first heard when I saw this card. Busy little bees. I didn't even look at the tarot card, and the Five of Wands is very high energy, and it's almost, and I don't necessarily pick up this in your reading, but the Five of Wands traditionally to me feels very competitive. It feels very, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when you picture people fighting, it feels very, combative oftentimes. So the Five of Wands could talk about like, I mean, paired with soul work, this could be you kind of battling internally with yourself in a lot of ways. Trying to understand something or understand something about yourself, or I don't know, but I do feel like there is some sort of like a battle, and I feel like it's an internal battle more than anything, with these two combined. And I feel like this month could be really, really rewarding for you, as you continue this soul searching or soul work, if you want to call it that. The struggle really is like, in a way, a little bit of like a cocoon moment. I mean, I don't know what happens inside of a cocoon, but from what I've heard, it's like the caterpillar basically emulsifies and turns into like mush and liquid, which is terrifying to me. That's scary. So I feel like if I was a caterpillar and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in my cocoon like all my friends are doing, and then I get in there and all of a sudden like my body is disintegrating, I'm gonna be freaking out, and like I might try to resist that, or I might, you know, be like, what the heck is happening? And like there's this like panic or chaos. Like that's kind of what I'm getting from this, is like a little bit of panic, a little bit of maybe internal chaos for you guys, of like figuring out, well, if this is true, then this also must be true, but if this is true, then this can't be true. And I feel like there's a lot of that like bouncing around inside of your heads, inside of your hearts, even inside of your spirits. I feel like there's a lot of like back and forth, a lot of like conflicting ideas, perspectives, feelings. It feels chaotic. But with all that said, I feel like this is in a way an opportunity for you to kind of, again, level up on a spiritual level, a mental level, an emotional level, and really see either the complexity that is life, or the complexity that is what it is that you're studying, pursuing, whatever. And also recognizing that complexity within yourself, and learning how to decipher what it is that you truly believe about yourself, or what it is that you truly believe that this world or this life is about, and how you can apply that to your work, to your life, your perspective, your philosophy, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is that's resonating for you in this moment. But that is what I'm ultimately getting for the month of May. It feels a little internally chaotic, and you could be struggling with some things on a personal level. Okay, so just be prepared for that. Could be a little bit jarring, confusing, overwhelming. So just want to be very honest with you guys, okay? All right, so what do we have for the month of June? Let's close out the first half of this year, guys. So the first card you have is Hematite, and that is ground yourself. Okay, I like that. Next up, we have, sacred sexuality. Very interesting. And then the tarot card of the month is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Really, really interesting. This is kind of a tricky combination of cards for me. Give me 1 second. I want to drink some water and take a minute to reflect on this. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is like when a college student takes their first psychology class or they take like a sex psychology or psychology of sex kind of course at the collegiate level, and they become a little bit radicalized. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's like opening up this door to like really understanding yourself. But in the month of June, I feel like this is kind of a continuation from May a little bit, except now you're a little bit less internally chaotic, and you're starting to like settle and be more comfortable with the things that you're learning, the things that you are applying, the things that you're doing. And it's starting to like mellow out a little bit, especially with this Hematite card. It feels more grounded. It feels less up here or, you know, chaotic. And it definitely feels much calmer. The sacred sexuality card for me is really talking to me about like being a lot more open in a lot of ways. It feels like being more in tune, a little bit more, how do I want to put that? I guess more in tune. Being more in tune with your own body, being more conscious of like, how to put that, your desires. And it doesn't just have to speak specifically to sex. It could talk about like your desires when it comes to eating, could be your desires when it comes to rest, when it comes to, I don't know. I mean, it could be different for everybody. So it's kind of like hard to really pin down. It's just more of like an idea, and it's a very abstract idea. So I'm trying to put this into words that make sense, but like, it's this feeling of like, I'm kind of leaving behind everything I know with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, restructuring, reorganizing, and, being open to creating something different or pursuing something different, which I think really is the basis of your entire year in 2026. But I feel like June takes a very specific turn energetically for you. It's almost like a mellowing and understanding, and it's a little bit more of like this reserved confidence, that even though you may not see the results, you may not see the progress or the forward movement of what it is that you're trying to do yet around this time, but I feel like internally you just feel like you're in a different space. Gosh, this is so hard to explain. I really hope I'm doing this justice here, Spirit. But what I also see with sacred sexuality is like, I always associate our sexual organs with our sacral chakra, which is literally the conduit for creation, whether that's creating a human life form, or, you know, creating anything in general, creating art, creating abundance, creating anything that we want to see in the world. It's a very magical energy, very powerful, and can be used to manifest a lot. So I feel like June is almost like this incubation period of like you really fully understanding like what it is that you're capable of, and fully understanding like, I'm no longer the person I used to be, in a very odd way. I'm just gonna say June is very, how do I put that into words? I don't know if I can. I'm really struggling here, you guys, and I do apologize. I haven't had any issues up until this point. This energy is just so unique. It really is. It's like, it's almost like a letting go and an embrace of like this blank slate. Does that make sense? I feel like someone took a chalkboard with a whole bunch of writing on it, took the little eraser thing and just swiped it clean. And that's where you guys are kind of at here. But you guys are at peace with it. And you guys are like open to this. And it feels very mystical to me. So maybe you guys are feeling like you're in a very mystical headspace. So just be careful, because that can feel a little delulu. But I feel like there's this sense of like release, surrender, and being open to this new blank slate that you're about to walk into. Okay. Gosh, that was such a struggle for me to try and explain. Okay, let's move on to July and see what's coming for the second half of 2026. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we have clear quartz, get crystal clear. I like that. And then we have release, which I literally just tried to explain with your June cards. So I'm glad that's kind of affirming where I was or what I was sensing. And then your tarot card is the King of Pentacles, which is like a huge leap from the Page of Pentacles that we got in January to now July, jumping to the King of Pentacles. This is mastery. The kings are masters of their craft, of their knowledge, of whatever. So to have the King of Pentacles here, is a big deal. It's you mastering something in a lot of ways. Okay, so you've mastered this craft, this idea, this philosophy, whatever. It's almost giving graduation in a lot of ways to me. Now, I'm not saying you are going to be graduating from college around this time, but for those of you where you're doing like an internship or an apprenticeship, I definitely feel like you are mastering some aspect of this mentorship or program or whatever it is that you're pursuing. And you are really becoming like you can do this in your sleep kind of a thing. And I feel like July is that month where you really get hyper focused and you really are just like who you were before is gone. Like this release is you coming out of that cocoon. You're coming out of the cocoon in July and you're hitting the ground running. Like it's like if the caterpillar came out of the cocoon in a suit and with a briefcase and like a business plan that was actually already making money all within the span of like 3 days. Like that's what this feels like. You're coming out of cocoon with a business that is functioning and making money within days. I'm not saying that's the case, okay? So like rein it in. But it just feels like you're locked in and you are making it happen. That's what this feels like. You're locked in, you're making it happen. Like it's go time. We're very serious. We're very serious in the month of July. No excuses and taking no prisoners is what I just heard. Okay, that's July. What is happening in August? Holy cow. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm being dramatic, but it keeps getting better and better and better. Where do you go from here, Tauruses? Where do you go from here? Okay, let's see. August. Amethyst. Trust your intuition. Ascension. Where do you go from Ascension? Like, you guys, I love this, but like, damn, let your girl breathe. The tarot card for August is the Magician card in the reverse. I feel like there is a Mercury retrograde somewhere around the summertime. I don't remember where exactly. It could be, I feel like I couldn't even tell you honestly, but I do remember one happening around the summertime. So maybe it's around August, but I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I feel like August is one of those months where you are not only taking your foundational knowledge, your experience, your like real world skills and talents, but now you're adding this level of intuition and like just, I don't know if I want to say like predictability, but it feels almost like predictability. It feels like you're able to track patterns. You're able to make decisions on the fly that instinctively feel right to you, and you're right every time. Now, I don't know if that's right off the bat happening for you at the top of August, but definitely could be happening near the end of August, or could be the result of what you go through in the month of August. Does that make sense? I feel like August is definitely pushing you to a new level. I'm not going to say it's without its challenges, because we do have the Magician card here in the reverse. So I feel like there is a lesson here to be learned in terms of learning how to incorporate multiple aspects of yourself, whether that is your education, whether that is your hands-on experience, maybe experience from something you've done in the past. Maybe this is, you know, continuously learning, growing, and researching now that you are done with like your initial education. Maybe this is just really tapping into something that is inexplainable to other people. It is an inner knowing. It is a sense of intuition. It is tapping into that more spiritual or illogical side and combining it with your practical, no nonsense, very logical approach to things. Okay, it's like a marriage of the abstract and the very tangible, and you're like, I feel like you're going to be unstoppable. Do the Tauruses need to be stopped? I don't want to stop them. I love this. I love this for you guys. This feels like a huge level up. And like I said, August could still be a very challenging month for you guys. I just feel like where it's taking you in this journey is mind-blowing to me. Like, I feel like people around you could be looking at you like, how the fuck did you do that? How the fuck did you know that? Like, you're gonna blow people's minds, I feel like, in the second half of the year. So just be prepared for that. You might even blow your own mind. All right, let's take a look at September. God, what else could happen this year for you guys? We have Iolite, shift your money mindset. All right. We have surrender. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Interesting. Another element, another level. What I'm getting from this is like sharing the wealth. And it's interesting because we had share the wisdom come up in one of your months, right? Now it's time to share the wealth. It's time to share those opportunities with other people. It's like giving back is what I'm getting from the month of September. What is that phrase? It's like when one succeeds, we all succeed, kind of a thing. It's like there is room at the top for everybody. And I feel like you recognize that in the month of September. And I really feel like for you, the Six of Pentacles is you giving back in a lot of ways, whether that is you mentoring somebody now, or you offering apprenticeships or offering scholarships, or you maybe hiring people to, you know, grow them in a lot of ways, the ways that you were able to grow. I feel like in a way, September is you giving back to your community, to other people. And I love to see this. It's like, it's so silly, but it's like, I don't know why, but I thought like, it's a Jesus arc. That sounds so silly. It sounds so crazy. But that's like, I kept saying, where do you go from here, Tauruses? And it's like, oh, you become Jesus. Of course you do. You ascend, you become Jesus, and now you give back to everybody else once you've reached this ascension, or you become Buddha, or whatever. Like, Tauruses, I'm losing my mind over this reading. This is so mind-blowing. I love it. For those of you that end up resonating with this reading, please come back and tell me how this all played out, because I would love to know. I would love to know. But this just feels like the perfect arc. You learn, you become successful, you kick ass and take names, and then you give back. You lift up the other people behind you. You bring everybody with you and say, hey, this is what's possible. This is what we can achieve. Let me help you. Let me show you the way, kind of a thing. Oh my God, I fucking love it. Okay, what's happening in October? What is happening in October for the Tauruses? Okay, we have appetite. Get out of your comfort zone. All right. Oof, we have the underworld. Okay. And then we have the Sun card in reverse for the month of October. A little bit of a darker period. I don't know about darker period, but I definitely feel like this is more of a reserved month for you guys, where you may not be as social, you may not be as, I don't know, you may just not be as present. Okay, I feel like this is another hermit mode or a cocoon moment for you guys. Actually, I don't feel like this is a cocoon moment. I feel like this is a hermit moment. This could be a time where you start to, what's the word I want to use? What's the phrase I want to use? where you start to like take the spotlight off of yourself and you go more into this like behind the scenes type of energy. Or you go into this energy of like, I've done everything I wanted to achieve this year. What's next? And you're at this point where you're like, where do I go from here? Maybe that's why I've been saying what I've been saying. Where do you guys go from here? And maybe that's something you start to reflect on and think about for yourselves, is like, where am I going to take this? Maybe I don't want the spotlight, or maybe I don't want certain aspects of this, or, you know, maybe I need to figure out, you know, what the next step is from here. But I feel like, I don't feel like, usually when I see the Sun card in reverse or something like the underworld, like, oh, you're unhappy, nothing's, you know, making you feel fulfilled. I don't get that per se, but I do feel like there is a desire for something more. There's a desire for something else. And I feel like you guys are going into a bit of a hermit mode to figure out what that is. And I'm not saying you're like taking a hiatus and like you're closing up shop. But I just feel like you're taking a bit of a step back, and you don't want to be in the spotlight right now. You don't want to be, front and center, I guess is the best way I could elaborate on that. And I feel like this is Spirit's way of kind of like pushing you to, you know, consider what else there is. What else is there? And maybe look at things again from a different perspective. See maybe if there's something else that's missing that we hadn't considered, or that we can build on and do differently or improve on. Okay, that's what I'm getting for October. What do we have for November? Okay, interesting. Okay, so we have Blue Lace Agate is your first card for November. We have Get Curious. All right. And we have the High Priestess in reverse. Very interesting. Yeah, I feel like October and November is definitely giving a lot of soul searching. A lot of soul searching, because I feel like some of you guys may have like blown up. Some of you guys may have like reached a level of fame or success that you either didn't think was possible, or you just pushed so hard to achieve that you didn't consider what would happen afterwards and where do you go from here. And I think that's why I kept saying like, where do you go from here? So I feel like a lot of you guys are in October and November trying to figure out like, okay, after all the hype, after all the success, after all the craziness and the celebrations and the joy and the helping and giving back and all of that, like, what is next for me? Like, where do I really go from here? And I feel like a lot of you guys are taking this time, this month of November in particular, to really like get back in touch with who you are at your core in a lot of ways. Some of you guys could be taking a vacation around this time. Some of you guys could be going on a retreat. Some of you guys could be doing something to help you reset, to help you get re-inspired, to help you, you know, just get, I don't know, like reacquainted with yourself outside of everything that you've achieved, okay? So I do feel like this is a moment where you really take a step back. You really step away and like, I need to chill. I need to go do something else. I need to find my calm, and I need time and space to really like consider or get inspired about what I'm gonna do next, what my next steps are. Because I think it's very easy to get caught up in the noise of your everyday life. And so this High Priestess in reverse, even the Sun in reverse from the month of October, like both of these in the reverse tells me like there's something that is preventing you from being really clear on what's happening next. Okay, let's go to December. What is going on in December for the Tauruses? Okay, first up is Black Kyanite, set strong boundaries. Okay, next we have Take Risk. Interesting. And then the tarot card for the month of December is the Three of Cups in reverse. It's definitely giving antisocial. It's definitely giving antisocial. You're like, I don't want to be around too many people right now. I really need to be alone, or I need to separate myself from being around too many different kinds of energies that maybe aren't healthy, maybe energies that are not aligned with who I am and where I'm going. Okay, I think it's very easy, like, especially if you're someone who, like, and again, this is just an example, but if you achieve a certain level of fame, right? I think it's very easy to get caught up in the, like, wanting to surround yourself with people that are, you know, fun, or, you know, having an entourage, like hairstylists, wardrobe, designers, whatever. Like, I think it's very easily to get wrapped up in, like, new people or people wanting to be around you or associated with you. And I think December is where you kind of start to realize, like, okay, maybe I need to get very, very clear about who I have in my circle. Now I'm starting to notice things, and I'm starting to notice I don't feel good around this person or this type of person, or I don't feel good when I do this type of event, or I don't feel good when I collaborate with certain brands or companies or things like that. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. And this could be a risk. Maybe you feel like, or people are telling you, like, you don't want to shut out opportunities. Like, this is the time where you want to be open to people. And I feel like you are maybe looking at it from a different perspective, and you're recognizing that doesn't align with who I am. And this is a risk I'm taking, but I need to make sure that I'm protecting myself, and that I'm setting very clear boundaries, and that I am carefully vetting people, and that I am not associating myself with people, places, or things that are not aligned with who I am. Does that make sense? Okay. I feel like something might happen between October and December where maybe you guys might get called out for something, or something might happen that you observe maybe happening with someone else, and you're like, I don't want that to happen to me. And it very easily could be something of, like, they made a decision to partner with a brand, and that brand is now in hot water for something. Or someone worked with someone, or you worked with someone that now has a bad reputation, and you're like, I don't want to be associated with someone like that. I need to be more careful about who I align myself with, who I associate myself with, or what I do and what I pursue, because I don't want my reputation to be tarnished, or I don't want to be perceived as this kind of person, because that's not who I am. And I think that's a part of fame that people don't really think about, is, like, obviously people start being haters and all of that, but, like, it's also, you're under a lot of scrutiny. And so even an innocent decision or partnership can turn into, like, oh, now you're the villain because you're aligned or associated with something or someone that is what we consider a villain or a not so great person. I feel like that could be, in a manner of speaking, something that maybe you deal with in the last quarter of 2026. Hence why you need to, like, be very, very clear in December, once you've taken time to, like, really figure out what your brand is, who you are, what it is you stand for, all of that. And maybe that's all part of that, like, reflection period. Again, take what resonates. It doesn't have to be this specific. I'm just hoping you're picking up what I'm putting down in terms of the general energy, right? But December feels like setting those boundaries and getting very clear and very specific about who, what, and how you interact with the world. Okay, that is what I'm getting for you guys. Holy cow, what a reading, Taurus is. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed it. I would love to know how this all plays out for you. So please come back throughout the year, leave me comments, let me know how this plays out for you. If it plays out the way that I said, I would love to know and hear about it. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future, and maybe share this with another Taurus if you feel like they would love to hear this reading. If you want to see more content from me, I am also on TikTok and Instagram. My handles are below in the description box, and that is where you can reach out to me if you want to schedule a personal reading with me until my website is completely up. Those are the only handles I use. Please do not get scammed on the internet. As always though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.